Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar, Why Most MSPs Struggle with Marketing and, crucially, How to Fix It. I'm Ben Spector, Head of Solutions at Zomentum, and I'll be your host for the session. Thanks very much for taking the time to join us today. As a former MSP, I know just how packed your MSP schedules can be. I'm really excited to be joined by two amazing colleagues. I've got Samiksha Shah, Zomentum's marketing manager, who leads marketing for MSPs, and Nelson Anthony, our sales expert, who works closely with MSPs to turn marketing visibility into real world revenue. We know you're very busy running operations, managing clients, fighting daily fires, and so marketing often becomes a someday task. It certainly did for me. But in today's MSP world, visibility drives growth. And frankly, it's not just the MSP world. Visibility drives growth. It's all about community marketing. The approach to marketing in general has changed so much. And the MSPs who stay seen and consistent are the ones who win the long game. So over the next 45 minutes, we'll uncover why most MSPs struggle with marketing consistency, what kind of content actually works. That's quite a big one. How often you should be posting or emailing and producing other content. And finally, how Zomentum can help you do all of this effortlessly. Let's start with a really simple question. If a potential client Googles your business right now, what are they going to find? Because in 2025, your digital presence is your first impression.
Absolutely, Ben. Hi, guys. Thank you for joining in today. So, to answer your question, Ben, around studies have shown that around 70% of B2B buyers research online before reaching out to any businesses. And before reaching out to you, they definitely go through your LinkedIn account, your website, or any other social media presence you have. So again, social media presence or your brand visibility becomes your portfolio, your first front pager where they're going to judge your business, whether the business is outdated, up to date, has enough knowledge, has enough services that they are looking for, and not even services, the kind of trust that have they catered to XYZ number of clients. Like even when we buy any product, right? Like we go through their reviews, read how many people have bought the product before. So that's whole that's the exact same thing or the exact same persona when people are looking for B2B businesses also do that, right? They look for the kind of reviews, what other people are saying about them. So again, your online presence really matters because it can become like a conversation starter for you as well as the prospect to reach out to you.
So why do most MSPs struggle to keep up with their marketing?
Again, that's, I think most of MSPs know the answers, right? Like it's because of their time, consistency, and quality content, right? Of course, MSPs being the experts in their profession do not have enough time to do marketing, right? Of course, because they're busy doing their client work, solving their problems. Again, they do not really focus on business. Like, of course, any business owner focuses on the product and the solution first rather than focusing on the brand presence where the marketing lies, right? Like marketing lies in creating a balance between the brand presence out there so that you can actually attract more clients. Consistency. Marketing does not happen with one post a month or one random post that you've done when you're free, you had some free time, right? You need to be really consistent with it. You need to constantly show up. You need to show up for your business, for your brand, so that people can trust you and give you more business, right? So consistency is the key. And I think consistency plays across a lot of other various factors also. When people talk about consistency, I've heard a lot of MSPs saying that, we've bought this system that constantly does posting for us. But that's not content quality, right? That's not the quality of the content that is going to generate any business or any awareness for you. So, content of the quality that you're posting also really matters. The content cannot be too generic, just talking about some tech trends or something that went viral or salesy, that just talking about the services that you have to offer. It needs to be more conversational. It needs to be more brand oriented. Again, I have been focused on brand awareness because that's what is going to help you get good business in long term. So again, marketing should not be really random. It should be consistent, it should be educational, and it should be targeted geographically, because that's where you want to get your business from. And again, it needs to be done in a way that it looks like as if the brand or an expert is doing on behalf of the brand. So yeah, the marketing really needs to be done in a way that it helps. Eventually it helps. It should not just look like an everyday task that you're performing. It should eventually give you some results in long term.
I'll give you an example here, right? So, I mean, I'm leading the sales team with Zomentum, and I oversee a lot of inquiries that come in and a lot of leads that come in, right? With Zomentum itself, we're talking about sometime, back in May, we stopped doing paid advertisements, right? Because there was honestly a lot of investment, but absolutely not much of results coming in, right? So we moved from paid marketing to organic marketing, and that's where Samiksha started leading the conversations, right?
Yes.
And I'm just giving an example, right? So if we were to get about, let's say, 100 leads on a monthly basis on a paid marketing, we've seen this shift happen wherein we moved from paid to organic, and the lead inflow drastically increased. And I'm talking about numbers, right? Now I see 2x of the leads who are coming in through organic marketing to us, right? And it's completely because of consistent marketing efforts by our marketing team, led by Samiksha as well, right?
And that too also quality leads. I would want to say that it was not something that from ads, random people clicking on. Those leads were genuinely interested because they did certain activities on our website, went through our blogs, liked our blogs, downloaded certain resources that gave us the nature of the client or the nature of the prospect. That, hey, yes, they are interested in the kind of services that we had to offer. And that same thing goes for every brand that kind of follows that strategy.
True.
Right. Again, this is going to be one of the good examples that we have from a client that we are currently working. This is a plan for their consistent marketing that we've been doing so far. And I think we've got these numbers I think we've started posting since 1st October, and this is just results for a month that we've achieved, right? We've got impressions, we've got reaction percentage high, which was earlier zero, right? So this is what a consistent marketing typically looks, right? And this is what we are also trying to explain, that the content needs to be branded, the content needs to be brand oriented and not generic content, right? There are certain recommendations that you need to follow coming from social media. LinkedIn and Facebook are the two important platforms, and whether you are whether you have a company page or a founder page, right? You should at least post 2 to 3 times a week to be active, for people to know that, okay, your business is live, you are right out there, you have certain things to share. If you're a founder, you can definitely always post about the stories you have, the kind of services that you have to offer, in a way that it shows like your experience, that with my experience, I have tried to achieve this. With my past knowledge, we've tried to achieve XYZ for the client, right? That's a really good post for a founder to build trust. So it's really highly recommended to post at least 2 or 3 times per week on LinkedIn and Facebook, because those two are the key business platforms. Coming to blog post, you should definitely post at least, I'm not saying ideal number of times you should post is again 2 or 3 a week, but of course, if someone does not have time to every day write and post, once a week is also fine. And it does not need to be educational, it should not be very heavy that you're trying to teach someone, because of course someone's going to get bored of reading so much of content. It needs to be informative in a way that it leaves a impression behind the person who's reading. And of course, with impression, it also needs to be SEO focused, because that's what our main goal is, for Google to crawl, rank those keywords, and show up in the search results. So once a week blog post is highly recommended, which needs to be SEO focused.
So Samiksha, quick
Yeah,
question, right?
yeah.
Now, your cadence recommends basically a weekly blog post, right? Or, so is it okay for an MSP to just share a vendor supplied security threats? Because a lot of these MSPs are, work with a lot of vendors, right? And there's a lot of security threats alerts that come to that's basically sent out to the MSPs. I mean, instead of writing their own blog posts, is it okay for an MSP to just basically share a vendor supplied security threat?
Yeah, I mean, it can be in a way, where they're kind of teaching or giving them a tour of what they've done for them,
Okay.
right? It cannot be just technically written, because that's not what a normal prospect would understand. Even if that's the same thing that they're looking for, it needs to be in a way that it's open to masses, easy for everyone to read and understand. Because at one point, also we want them to get in touch with us and get more information about it.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah. So again, coming to blog post once a week can be done. It's a doable thing. I feel that anyone can do it. So yes. And of course, now we have a lot of AI help around us that you can use to generate a draft, and then, just make it human or make it more refined to what your services look like. Second is email marketing, right? Email newsletters. I have been tired saying this, that if you have a good customer base, once a month, you should definitely send them a newsletter on showing what kind of success you've got in this past month. It's not necessary for that particular customer. It can be overall also. It helps you in different ways. It helps you to upsell other services that you have. It helps you to just create more credibility for the brand that they are associated with. And it just kind of creates a relationship, a touch point, that okay, this brand is there for me if there's any other services also I need. Second, if you have a good database, right, you should definitely start running email campaigns, right? That's today businesses, like around, I could say 70 to 80% people still open their email promotional section of their boxes, go through the brands that have sent them emails, right? So you should be cold emailing them, trying to show them what your business and service looks like. And in case if you do not have a good database, you have your website, right? You can certainly create a lot of lead magnets to generate those leads. That can be, as what Nelson mentioned, that currently what we do is just focus on organic leads, resource leads that we get. So that is something that we also pitch other brands to do that. So the nature of the business that's interacting with your content. Google My Business, again, a most important platform. You should be updating the platform every 10 to 15 days. Updates don't mean revamping the whole profile, doing some major updates. It can be as simple as uploading your photo or images that you have, maybe team pictures, professional working pictures, or anything. And Google has this very cool feature which is called the update section, which actually performs or behaves like your social media platform. So the way you do regular posting on LinkedIn and Facebook, you can pick that same post without changing the content or the creative, post it on Google, right? So it also becomes one of your social media platform that you should work on. And last is your website refresh. Again, no, it's not necessary to revamp the whole website every second or third month. As simple as just uploading new reviews that you have, new case studies, or just updating your services that you have to offer. That is also enough for Google or AI platforms to understand that there is certain new updates that you've made to your website, and hence it gets new material to crawl and provide information accordingly. Again, AI platforms, if you've noticed, there is something that AI platforms have started recommending brands. Like if you go and search and recommend me IT services near me on ChatGPT, it will give you a list of 10 brands that show up. But how do those 10 brands show up, right? it crawls your website, it crawls your content through all the channels you've been present. That's why your brand needs to be present in an omni-channel way, that it's consistently present in all the platforms. Hence, it also provides a lot of information to these platforms to provide information to the people who are searching for it, right? So again, consistency is key. It does not mean be consistent across all the channels that I just mentioned. You can pick certain channels that you can perform well on and then just be regular with your content on it.
So what I'm hearing then is that it's not about flooding the internet, but it is about staying top of mind week after week.
Correct.
Let's talk a bit about the mistakes MSPs often make, the things that were really likely to be holding them back.
I have been like since we've started this initiative, I have been constantly hearing about these I can call it excuses, right? Like that, I am not able to do marketing because I am too busy running the business. I don't have a team member, I don't have an internal resource doing it. Understandable. Those are, I mean, genuine excuses, but are still an excuse, right? Um, they are using certain generic tips that everyone else is posting, buying an off the market system that just constantly post every day for them with no brand, no any personalization to those posts, basically, I can say. A lot of businesses that I've come across also do not have a Google My Business profile, which was really surprising for me, because this is a free tool that Google has to provide, right? And it's just for businesses. So, and it's one of the most powerful tool for B2B industry, because it just gets you out there. Because since I think the time the internet has come, people have been searching off Google. IT services near me or XYZ services near me. And that's where your profile plays a really important role here.
So,
Um,
I think the worst thing that we can hear, I mean, I'm in sales, right? So uh, I can hear only people talking about features, right? Buyers basically care about one thing, the resolution to their problem, right? Now, Samiksha, out of these common mistakes, right, which one is the absolute biggest killer of credibility for a new prospect?
I think generic content is the most, I could say, which is a buzzkill for anyone who lands on your profile, is because people understand that this content is not coming from the brand, right? And that is one of the things where a person loses its credibility, because it step by step it constantly sees that there are some posts, random posts from random websites that are happening, not related to brand, not providing them right information that they're looking for, right? So I think that is something that every brand needs to really work and understand, that posting generic content or posting something randomly is not going to help them in long term. So that's one of the things that I would ask every brand. If you're not able to do Google My Business, website, email, it's okay. Just make sure you do not post generic content on your platforms. I think one of the most excuses or the don'ts that I would, really say, is that talking about features and not problem solved, right? In today's day and age, there are hundreds of competitors every business has, right? So if you constantly talk about the solution or the feature that you have to offer, like I provide XYZ services, people are tired hearing that, or tired understanding that okay, I will help you with IT services, cybersecurity, XYZ things. But they want to understand and read about or know about what kind of problems you've solved, right? So if you've noticed, a new trend on LinkedIn has also come up with that founder profiles have more reach than the company profiles. Why is that? Right? It's because people want to understand what their journey looked like. How did they come up with this problem, and how did they solve by starting this company, right? So that is what people want to know. People want to really know what personally you have done, personally how you've solved certain problems. So it's not more about talking services or features, it's talking about how you can help them. If they get associated with you, what are the benefits they are going to get out of it? So that's a really important thing that I would ask people, I mean, ask brands to do. That if you, I mean, first, not post generic, and if you're not post, I mean, if you decide to not post generic content, start posting about the problems that you've solved, the problems that are going to correlate with other people's who are going, people who are going through the same problems. Yeah.
Thank you. Alrighty. So, the cost of inefficiency, right? Now, I want you to look at this graph. Like, this isn't just like a hypothetical chart, right? So this is the reality of almost every MSP who treats marketing as a specific activity. Now, when you spend time or money on a campaign, your sales pipeline goes up, right? And what happens with that is you're busy with client onboarding, your pipeline gets filled, right? What's the first thing that you cut when you get busy? Is marketing, right? You stop posting, you stop sending emails, and look what happens to the existing pipeline, right? It immediately goes towards the downward graph. Now, why? Is because IT buying cycles are long, right? Typically between 3 to 6 months or 6 to 18 months sometimes, depending on the size of the deal, right? You need to stay visible during that entire window. Now, there are two things that happen when marketing stops. One is you're either too busy for new business, or second is you are deemed unreliable because there's not enough presence of you online, right? If you can't even manage your own communication consistently, how will you manage the mission critical IT, right? We call this as a feast or famine cycle, right? You're either frantically trying to close deals, or you're trying to frantically find deals. Now, that's an always-on marketing system, right? Smooths out that entire curve. It ensures that you always have a predictable flow of leads, so you can focus on client delivery and also the panic of a dry pipeline, which that's the last thing that an MSP would want. I think Ben, you might want to add some thoughts on this.
On which bit? Sorry, the always on marketing.
No, on
Feast and
having a
famine.
dry pipeline for an MSP, because you have been an ex-MSP.
Yeah, I mean, the reality was our marketing was so bad and inconsistent, and the end result was a very difficult lead flow. We experienced exactly that when we were putting effort in, you always had several months ramp up period before you'd start to see results. So if we started marketing again in March, it probably wasn't until July that we'd actually start to see results. Then suddenly by August, September, we're busy and we've stopped doing anything. And then we just go through the same kind of annual cycle. Whereas what we should have been doing was properly capacity planning in advance. If we'd had systems in place to be able to properly forecast what was going on, and we were actually predicting what capacity was going to look like, we'd have had the resources needed to deal with the demand, and I wouldn't have been endlessly pulled off the important stuff like marketing. So what's the alternative? How do you stay visible when we're busy?
So come up with this term called always on a marketing system, right? So this is not something that's an off the rack marketing system that you would purchase. This is something that we've come up for the brand who wants to do marketing, of course, does not have time to do it, but can automate it. So see, marketing is something for a B2B that can run automatically, because you don't have a product to sell that needs to go viral within one Instagram reel trend, right? It's about the services that you have to offer. So it's okay if you kind of bulk create content, you plan it, you automate it, and you put it on an auto schedule, autopilot system where it automatically goes on the platform on and on, right? And every platform that you work with, like LinkedIn, Facebook, WordPress, it has an option to schedule your content. So it's not like it's an everyday task of going on the platform and doing the post. So this is what we've come up with, that is called an always on marketing system, where you first plan the content. You sit for a day, you plan an entire content for the month that you have, understand if there are certain activities or events that are going to come across that month. For example, October is supposed to be like a cybersecurity awareness month. So it's really, so you get an idea that that term is going to be really ranking up on Google. So you can create content around that to get some more visibility for the brand, right? So you plan content, and after that you create content, you create your pillars that you want to focus for that month, create content around it, automated by using these scheduling apps, analyze it on weekly basis, because analyzing is really important. Without you knowing what content or what form of content is performing well, it's just again doing the same thing, posting every day by every day without seeing any results. So you then analyze the content. Once you figure out after 3 months that okay, XYZ kind of content, like personalized content, or when I'm talking about case studies or reviews, is performing well, you keep repeating that kind of content and have your followers or viewers engage with it, and then you repeat on that cycle, right? So it just kind of makes your marketing going flow without even you investing a lot of time in it, right? So it just becomes like a predictable rhythm for you, and then eventually the content runs for you, not because of you. That's the end goal to creating on this always on marketing system.
So, Samiksha, you've mentioned this before. There's a big difference between buying a marketing system and actually having marketing that works.
Correct. Yes. So, I mean, exactly. Most of the marketing systems in the industries that we have are template based. Like, I am tired of going through MSP profiles and just seeing that content. And I have seen, like, across my time right now, I have seen the same content across 3 MSP platforms. Like, I mean, no wonder, of course, it was coming from the same channel, but again, it's duplicate content. That content is never going to really work out for them well, right? So the content needs to be set in a system, but again, it needs to be customized. It's a service. Marketing is always a service. It cannot be a system. Systems can be set in place when you are catering those services. Like, I can set systems in while I'm giving the services that okay, I'm going to post these many things. So that's a system for me. But it's a service that is giving, right? Marketing can never be a system that just runs on autopilot. It needs to be personalized, customized, actually efficient for the brand getting more business or getting more awareness in future, right? So hence Zomentum has started this initiative where we just don't want to give you templates. We're tired of already providing you what that's already out there in the market, right? We want to create that is actually what your brand stands for or brand says. So we create content that is branded, customized, and hence we also post it for you. That's how the whole marketing Zomentum marketing system or the initiative has been started.
Yeah, so I generally talk to, at least on an average, right, at about uh 4 to 5 MSPs, new MSPs on a daily basis. And I've been doing this for about 5.5 years right now, right? And I know for sure that there's a lot of MSPs that I speak to are either a part of some kind of some kind of groups, like uh, you know either could be a marketing channel or any other groups who have been giving them templates, right? Content which can be posted on their blogs or on their websites or anywhere. Now, most of these generic systems that they're partnered with, they give them the DIY templates, right? That's with a very generic tone, no design help, right? So Zomentum's marketing services go beyond that. So it basically customizes them according to the brand. So it talks the language of your brand. So you get branded, customized, posted for you type of content that sounds like you and not just like another generic vendor, right?
Just to add on this point, like when you kind of decide to work on with us, we get on a good one or literally a strategy call that goes for an hours, where we in depth understand from you what the brand is, what the services that you have to offer. We ask you certain tough questions where you need to go back to your past data and give us an answer, because we want to understand where the brand is, where the brand is from, how did it start, what kind of content pillars that we can create for you. So it's not again going to be like, as Nelson said, that it's just a generic set of content that we copy paste for every brand. It's going to be custom content that's just created for your brand.
Exactly. Now, Samiksha mentioned that generic content is just noise, right? So I want to show you the difference from a sales conversion standpoint. Now, onto the left on the slide, you see a post. So this post is basically about meet Brian Russell, the architect behind Chicago's most reliable IT systems. This is authentic, right? This is a real person at CMIT Chicago, right? Now, when a potential client sees this, they just don't see IT support. They see a face, an expert, and a human connection. Now, this level of personalization does the heavy lifting for me as a sales expert. So, for example, when I finally call that prospect, right, I don't have to spend the first 20 minutes building a rapport or explaining what CMIT does. They already know Brian, they already feel a connection to the brand. Now, this shortens the sales cycle into 2 points again. Think about it. A prospect sees a generic post called a cold lead, right? And the second one is a prospect who sees a post about the local cyber threats, right? Or a post featuring a local team member like a Brian is a warm lead for me as a sales guy. They already trust you. Now, this personalization, this consistent visibility is what separates an MSP that is surviving from an MSP that is growing from a 30 to 40% faster, right? Now you're moving the conversation needle for before the meeting even starts, right? So it turns your marketing into an automatic trust building machine rather than something else wherein you have to kind of do it manually every single time, right? Keep posting content. I mean, you're kind of automating this entire process when you work with Zomentum. Then, I think, that's the place.
Okay, so if we just want to try and tie this all together, Samiksha, how exactly does Zomentum make this easy?
Correct. So, what we, after like a lot of research, right? Like marketing is a very broad term. A lot of services fall under marketing, right? But it's not necessary or essential that all these services are needed, or that is something that every brand should do. Every brand has to have different set of, I mean, not has to have, but needs different set of services that actually would give them results. After working with MSP and also working for an MSP, we've understood that these are the 5 main services that we should be really good at, and we should be creating our content around it. Like first is search engine optimization. Uh, in the earlier slides, I've constantly been mentioning about content, generic content, branded content, right? That's where SEO falls in, right? SEO will help you to get like localize it in a way that you reach the audience that you are actually looking for. So we kind of research on, based on the brand, based on your location, services, we research on the keywords that are needed, kind of embed them in the content, that every piece of content that goes out from that brand, we kind of make sure that the keywords are present there. We work on technical SEO, on page, off page SEO, to make sure that your website is very efficient for Google to crawl, any AI platform to get information from it. We make sure that now, since AI is going up, we make sure that your website is AI optimized also, as well as Google optimized also, right? So that's why the SEO really plays an important role. Second is, again, social media marketing. Consistency is the key. Social media is kind of like your digital portfolio, digital face of the brand. So we make sure that the content that's going out is just engaging for the prospect, helps them to understand what you have to provide in just couple of posts, who's the team behind working for the brand, who are they going to work with, and all of that, just to build more trust, more credibility, and just to have giving them an assurance that you're partnering with the right brand. Third is local SEO. Again, emphasize on Google My Business profile. That's really important. Whether you are in any geographical location, your Google My Business is going to be really a standout point for your business. So we look for targeted local keywords. So we make sure that technical keywords are different and your local keywords are different, and both of them are used in a very appropriate way on appropriate channels, which will eventually if you have a strong local SEO, it eventually you'll start seeing more regional leads, regional business coming in. That's what every brand prefers. Fourth services that we figured out is website optimization. If I'm making changes on keyword level, I need to optimize the website, right? Because of course, people are going to, first thing Google shows is the website link. Your website needs to be fast enough like the response time needs to be good, needs to be mobile friendly, and also conversation focused. Like if you've seen a lot of websites do not have good navigation. Like if someone wants to reach out to you, they do not know where do they have to navigate, where is your contact form, where is the contact form that they have to fill, how do they reach out to you, or is there any form that they can fill where the team can get back to us. So we just make sure that the whole navigation optimization of the website is proper. There's a whole process behind it. We check heat maps and a lot of other technical things so that the website front is strong. And last is again email sequencing. That's really important to keep your leads engaging, to keep your leads aware about the kind of business you all are doing. So that's one of the important pillars. And of course, once you're strong with these 5 pillars, and if you have like a good budget, you can always run paid ads to get more visibility. But if you are strong at these 5 pillars, like there are very high chances you can organically see more business coming in, then investing more money to something where you will have to filter out leads and see if that is a right fit for your business or no.
Right.
Again, just adding on to this, how Zomentum marketing services help you here is that we create content on your behalf, right? We get on a call, understand what your brand does, services do, and then we create a content plan for you. So we, on the left side, you can see that there is a set of pointers that we help you with. Again, is content creation assistance, 2 blog posts per week. As I said, 1 is necessary, but we go more beyond. We do 2, which is more beneficial. 8 social media post creations, which kind of creates a balance to have a consistent post every week. We go more than 8, around 10 to 15 posts is something that what we do for our brands that we are working with. Email newsletters and design is what we also help you with. We kind of create email sequences, email newsletters for your existing clients, local SEO and Google My Business optimization, website optimization. We do a monthly strategy call to understand and to keep you in loop. Basically, we do not want to just do things by ourselves and without your knowledge or without you knowing what your brand is showing outside on the online. So we make sure that you are in loop in every step that we take. We make sure that we have an approval from you on every piece of content that goes out, so that the founders are aware or the team is aware on what communication is going across all the platforms. And we also make sure that we have a set performance reporting system. So it's, of course, if you're doing certain activities, performance is important, is a key way to measure that if this is working or not working. And even for us to create a strategy, it's important for us that what kind of content has worked well, what is giving results, and what's not giving results. So we make sure
Samiksha,
that, yes, that's
so
it.
what's the single best time saving an MSP can expect by probably adapting Zomentum system versus trying to do it all by themselves? Like, what's the difference like?
See, if you again, we are a team of experts, right? We have been working in marketing fields more than 10 years now. We know what works, what doesn't work, and when if MSP is doing things by themselves, it's again going to be like a try and error thing, and that's going to always be when at their convenience of the time. Again, coming back to the point where we discussed about consistency, we make sure that the things are going consistently, sorry, my bad, for the brand and across channels to have a good visibility for the brand around there, right? So when of course, if I am not an IT expert and if I try to do something that I'm going to fail miserably at it and eventually leave doing that. So it's the exact same thing. We as a team of experts know what we are doing, and accordingly we'll take those certain steps.
Okay, thank you.
Of course, I've left myself on mute. Before we wrap up, let's recap some of the key takeaways here. So in terms of do's, you must be posting 2 or 3 times a week on LinkedIn, Facebook. You've got to make sure you're writing content that educates and not just sells. We've got to make sure that we're keeping visuals and tone consistent. Use automation where possible to save time, and make sure you're measuring engagement monthly. And then things you mustn't be doing: stop marketing when you're busy. Don't stop marketing when you're busy. Don't try copying the vendor content without any customization. I see this so much. All the vendors are interested in is selling their own products. All of the vendor provided marketing collateral is product focused. It has no consideration for your service wraparounds and the overall managed service you're delivering. Don't get caught in the loop of just marketing Barracuda's email security solution. Make sure you're putting your own spin on the whole thing. Don't ignore your Google reviews or listings. Make sure you're responding to reviews, engaging with that community, and don't just post without a plan. I'm very guilty of that. I just put whatever crap on LinkedIn I think of that morning. It's not an effective marketing strategy, but thankfully marketing is not my responsibility. So here's a little bit of an action plan, just a few key things that you really need to make sure you're focusing on as you leave today's webinar. First of all, audit your online presence. Just take the time to have a proper look at your LinkedIn, your Google profile, your website, carry out a bit of an audit and understand what it looks like today. Commit to a minimum of 3 posts a week. It's not hard. Well, it is hard, but it shouldn't be hard. And you can quite easily reuse content that you already have. If you've written great stuff for proposal templates, for example, repurpose that for blogs and other updates. If you've got old blogs from a couple of years ago, as long as it's fairly evergreen stuff and not relating to some specific security incident or something like that, just repurpose it. And try and keep stuff as evergreen as you can. And lastly, if you don't have time to manage all of this yourself, let Zomentum help. Our team can help set up your always-on marketing system in literally 1 or 2 weeks. If today's session has helped you to see the gaps in your marketing, we'd love to help you fill them. You can book a free one-to-one marketing strategy call with one of our experts like Samiksha, and we will show you what your marketing could and should look like for consistent visibility and growth. Marketing doesn't have to be another task on your plate. With Zomentum, it can be a system that runs quietly in the background while you focus on your clients. There's a QR code on your screen now. If you scan it, you'll be able to book a meeting with one of our marketing experts. It's completely free. You get some one-to-one time to help iron out a strategy. So yeah, we hope to see you on an upcoming call. If anyone's got any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat or in the Q&A. It looks like a couple of people had raised their hands, so perhaps just hang on for a minute to see if anyone has any questions. Jeff, Jeff, is there a way to automate the posts? For example, if we spend an hour a week and line up the posts to be delivered throughout the week, is that possible? Samiksha?
Yes.
I'm not sure actually if that's a question around our platform and service or more generally. I presume it's related to ours.
It's okay. I'll just answer that question. Yes, you can schedule all your posts. So platforms like LinkedIn, Facebook, all of them have scheduling options where you can select the date, time, and schedule the post, and automatically it would just go up. Even your website like WordPress, they have options to schedule your blogs. So just becomes much more easier for you. But I would still suggest you to schedule it on a weekly basis and not on a monthly basis, right? You want to be active on the platform. You want to see what kind of engagement you're getting and accordingly strategize your next post. So I think scheduling is a good option, but you could do it on a weekly basis.
And then we've got a couple of questions looking at cost, pricing, range of costs. Is there anything you're able to share now, or do they need to speak to you for a more specific proposal?
Yes, it's advisable that if you could, schedule a call with us, so we will understand what kind of services and what is the best possible plan that we can, suggest you, and accordingly you can get to know about the pricing. Nelson can help you with that.
Are you able to at least provide a range? Like, where does it start and end, or at least where does it start?
Well, I'll take that on.
Sure.
It's definitely affordable, right? That I can tell you. I can't, I can't share the pricing here. But Khalid, why don't you just book a 15-minute slot with me, and then we could go over that, right?
I think that's probably all the questions. I don't think we've got anything in Q&A either at the moment. Already booked. Thank you. Thanks, Khalid. Thank you very much, everyone, for attending. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thanks, Samiksha and Nelson, for your time and the content. Look forward to seeing everyone again soon.
Thank you.
Welcome. Thank you so much, everybody. Bye-bye.